I'm Arch Manning.
I'm Madison Skinner.
I'm Eva Jovich.
I'm Decoria Moore.
Want to train like a Red Bull athlete?
Tell us your fitness goals this summer to enter the Red Bull Athlete Challenge.
You'll get to try each of our workouts for a chance to win an ultimate Red Bull experience.
Think you have what it takes?
So good, so good, so good.
New summer arrivals are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Get ready to save big with up to 60% off brands like Rag & Bone, Levi's, Adidas, and Free People. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, where we're going to take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Hello and welcome to the Holocron Histories podcast, where we talk about Star Wars canon versus legend. I am one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup, and we are here to continue to talk about Star Wars.
Yes, and I am your other host, Ben of Temeria, and we are going into another character that we have from Legends. So we just did a two-part, Revan, they're not mini-sodes, but two-parter episode for Revan, and I thought, it's like, what could we follow up with that? And lo and behold, we are going to talk about his one true love, Bastila Shan, or your one true love, depending on who you were playing as in Knights of the Old Republic.
Look, this is a big deal because this is really I know BioWare had other games before KOTOR, but KOTOR was their first, big blockbuster game. And this was really their first, thing of, I remember KOTOR, and probably the same for you, was the first game I played where, you can romance someone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was RPGs with, romances in them, but nothing, to the extent, at least in my knowledge and what I played, there wasn't a game before KOTOR that I could remember that you, the player, could physically initiate the romance, rather than, being directly tied to a storyline.
Right. And I think, so if I remember correctly, the first games with romance I remember, did you ever play, it was for the Xbox, but the Lord of the Rings, the Third Age game?
That was back when I wasn't really into Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
I didn't get into, high fantasy until probably I got into middle school, which was well after KOTOR.
Yeah. All right. So that was probably the first game. That was a game that had a romance in it. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure some of the early Final Fantasies had romances in them, but probably set, not a player choice.
Yeah, everything in the earlier Final Fantasy games, even a lot of them, all the Final Fantasy games up to now, all the romance portions of the games, because all the games are a specific singular storyboard, it just follows suit. You have no quorums of starting or ending a romance.
And Bethesda, romances didn't really become a thing until Skyrim and Fallout 4.
Yes, because I don't think there was romances in Oblivion. I can't remember if there was any or not, but I don't think there were. But yes, no. It would have been Skyrim. Well, yeah, Skyrim would have been Bethesda's first, because there was no romances in Fallout 3
or Morrowind or Oblivion. Now, I have not played anything before Elder Scrolls 3, so there might be, but I don't know.
I don't think there was, because it was all text-based. So,
right.
Well, some of it was text-based, others were not. But anyway, that's why you're not here to, listen to us to complete going down video game history of romances. Right. There's another podcast for that. But we are here to talk about Bastila Shan. So to kick things off, we are starting with her early life. So for most of us, when we were first introduced to Bastila, was the Knights of the Old Republic game, because that was her first introduction into the series. But as time goes on, they added more to her story with books, with the comics. Even there's stuff with her specifically in her lineage with the Star Wars The Old Republic MMO. So with her early life, Bastila Shan was daughter of Helena Shan and a hunter born on Tarlavin. Shan shared a love or powerful relationship with her father. Despite this relationship, she was not on good terms with her mother. Helena, believing that her mother pushed her father into dangerous hunts so they could live in wealth. So, off to a great start in her early life. Yeah, Bastila loved her father, hated her mother, but her mother wanted to oust her father. So, yeah. And then as a child, Shan was discovered to be exceptionally gifted with the Force. She did not wish to leave her father behind and join the Jedi Order, but her mother felt that the life she and her family led, one full of relentless travel and fruitless excursions, was not a good life for Shan. She believed that her daughter's life would have been better on the Jedi way, and gave her to them. Shan was separated from her family and began her training, quickly proving to be an exceptional Jedi Sentinel. And then, obviously, this is Legends material, so you have the class system of there's the Jedi Sentinel, Jedi Counselor, Jedi Guardian, and so forth. And then Shan was discovered to be gifted with the Force power that would gain her considerable renown later in life, battle meditation. It was a rare skill that increased the morale of her allies in battle and reduced the enemy's will to fight. The ability to make her a considerable asset in the Galactic Republic's plans to defeat the Sith Empire during the Jedi Civil War. And then, as a young Padawan, Shan was present when Malak, on behalf of his best friend and mentor Revan, delivered a passionate speech that denounced the inaction of the Jedi High Council against the invading Mandalorian Neo-Crusaders. And then, though Shan refused to join Revan's growing rebellion, she witnessed several Jedi, including Mecher Surik and the future Jedi Exile, willing to submit to Malak and Revan's cause. Later, when those same Jedi returned to Sith during the Jedi Civil War, she became one of the most active supporters of the Jedi Order. Which, I mean, seeing one of your fellow Padawans and friends of the Order to go into battle against the Jedi High Council, and then later return as Sith Lords, yeah, I would get off my couch and start being active, because who to stop them than your friend?
Again, this is something that really irks me about Bastila, and is really a kind of plot hole for me for all of the KOTOR games in general. Where is her master? Because we know that they have a master Padawan assigning system, because Revan was Malak's master, and the Creo was Revan's master, and it's just
that's the one key info they've never delved into. Unless she was similar to Revan, where she just rotated masters on a regular basis, kind of a thing.
Maybe, but also we know that Juhani had a master as a Padawan, and so Jolie had a Padawan. There are all of these points of just, where is her master in all of this? Why doesn't she have one? What's going on?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. And I don't know. I don't know if it was, obviously with KOTOR, when she was written, she was already a well-developed Padawan. And they never specified her own master even in the games, and I think it was just a writing error they had at the time, because it was 2003 when the game released. So I don't know if they didn't think things through fully at the time or what. Even then, I'm surprised they didn't go back and like add more info for her character with like KOTOR 2 or even the comic series for Knights of the Old Republic.
Right.
But then it jumps ahead to the Jedi Civil War. So in 3957 BBY, the Jedi Council sent Shan and a strike team to capture Darth Revan, along with at least three other Jedi. Shan managed to board to board his flagship and fought their way to Revan. Her team had covered the Sith Lord on the bridge, but before they could engage him in combat, his apprentice Darth Malak betrayed him and fired upon his own ship. And we see these flashbacks. If you played Knights of the Old Republic, you do see the flashback of Revan in the command center of your ship, confronting Revan, and then you see explosions.
Right.
So Revan was left clinging to his life. Shan, remembering that the Jedi seeks to preserve all life, was able to keep him alive and preserve his mind from using the Force. This act resulted in a powerful Force bond between them. And then Shan then brought Revan to the Jedi Council. The Council then decided that they would use the Force to temporarily wipe his memory, even though this was considered an immoral use of the Force. Revan was then reprogrammed with a new identity, one that was loyal to the Republic. And obviously this goes into you creating your character, specifically for Knights of the Old Republic, and why you are on the Harbinger. So the Harbinger... Endarspire. The Harbinger is KOTOR 2.
And Mass Effect.
And Mass Effect. They hoped that, with time, his submerged memories would cast some light on the many mysteries surrounding him. They were especially interested in finding the Star Forge and stopping the legions of Sith invaders that were attacking the Republic-affiliated planets. Following Revan's apparent death, Darth Malak declared himself the new Dark Lord of the Sith. He knew that the Republic fleet had been saved from certain destruction by Shan's gift with battle meditation. His primary objective became either to eliminate Shan or ideally to capture and turn her to the dark side of the Force. He would then use her skill with battle meditation to crush the Republic. Yeah, that happens literally right before the events of Knights of the Old Republic, the game. It sheds light on, how your Revan, the one you create, is... you're on the Endarspire, you wake up, the ship's under attack by Sith, and you can't use the Force, and you either use a blaster or a vibro blade. So, yeah. For a good portion of the starting the game, which is irritating as heck. I hated using vibro blades, or I hated not being able to use the Force at the get-go.
Yeah, well, you can see you probably were not the only one, given how KOTOR 2 starts.
Yeah. So then we jump into the events of KOTOR. So obviously this goes down. So during the Endarspire crashing on the planet of Terrace, Bastila is then captured by a mercenary gang on Terrace in the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
Revan and your party, so it's you have Karth and T3, and eventually then you do meet up with Mission and Zalbar, gosh. Yes. So you have 5 total right there for your starting party that you can choose from. And you go and try and go and rescue Bastila. Eventually you do, after you win a pod race. Or not pod race, but it's a swoop race. And once you do find Bastila, then you all escape from Terrace. The party goes to Dantooine to train Revan in the Force, because Revan and Bastila start having their Force bond connection happening, to where Bastila can sense him, Revan can sense her, vice versa, and then also Revan starting to remember things. Right. And then once Revan is trained of the Force, and Bastila is with his training throughout his journey of becoming a Padawan and becoming a Force wielder, then they go and search for the star map pieces, where it would take you to planet to find each star map. And then eventually, Bastila is captured by Darth Malak and is turned to the dark side, which we now have Darkside Bastila, which was interesting of a story plot twist. I mean, there was a lot of plot twists in KOTOR. I mean, just the Revan reveal was like, oh my god. And then canon story-wise, Bastila is brought back to the light by Revan's love. Now, granted, if you play KOTOR, you can keep her on the dark side. You can bring her back to the light. I think isn't there a specific ending if she's like neutral in the like dark and light, or no?
I
don't think I thought there was a third ending. I could be completely wrong. But anyway.
No, there's not a neutral ending.
Okay, I didn't think there was. I couldn't remember.
No.
But you could keep her in the light, keep her on the dark, depending on what your playstyle is. But through the canon, or through the Legends timeline, Revan brought back Bastila to the light side, because Revan was in love with Bastila, Bastila was in love with Revan, and so forth. But if you want to know more of KOTOR, just go play KOTOR. It's on Steam. You can play it on Xbox. Sadly, it's not on PlayStation, because it's that old of a game. But yeah, you can play it on Steam, or it's also on Switch. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, you can play it on Switch.
Play it on Steam.
Play it on Steam.
It's also it's also available on Galaxy Games. GOG.
Oh, GOG. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, I think it's a good time to take our mid break.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget, the Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
This episode is brought to you by Palmolive. Family time isn't just the big moments. It's weeknight dinners, sitting around the table, everyone talking all at once. So when the plates are empty and the sink is full, use Palmolive Ultra. Palmolive's most powerful formula removes up to 99.9% of grease, leaving your dishes sparkling clean. And the new convenient pump makes cleaning even easier, so you can spend less time tackling dishes and more time together. Shop now at palmolive.com.
All right. Well, welcome to the middle of the show, where we talk about everything about the podcast, but not the lore. And so it's here where I thank our patrons. Thank you so much for supporting our podcast. To all our patrons, we had a great patron chat last week talking about Ahsoka. That was a great time. So if you'd like to join us on that, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories and sign up at our $20 tier or higher, whether Jedi Master or Dark Lord of the Sith. You get to choose your own destiny. No judgment. You can be a Jedi or a Sith. no, one is bad, one is good, but I will not judge you for that. Other than that, you can support us by leaving ratings and reviews on Apple or Spotify. Doing that greatly helps the podcast. It lets other people know that, we put on a quality show. And if you leave us a review or a comment on there with some kind words and 5 stars, we will read it out on a future episode of the show. And I do not believe we have any reviews to read today, unless I am mistaken.
Nope, not this week. But yeah, leave something on Spotify. You can leave a comment on each episode, and we will read that out loud on the show as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, other than that, you can come hang out with us on Discord, in the Cups Podcasting and More Discord server, in the Robots Radio Discord. And Ben now has a new Discord server as well for his kind of shows that he does. The Cups Podcasting follows the shows that I am also co-host on. This one is more of Ben and all of his shows.
Yep, it is the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord server. So the link for that is in the show notes. I have various servers or channels for each of my shows: Holocron, Wizard World, and my new Final Fantasy Lorecast, which is so much fun. And join us on Final Fantasy 14 because we are playing that game.
Mm-hmm. And you can find us all on all 3 of those servers under the names Teacup and Ben of something. And so that is a great kind of fun time to hang out with us. Other than that, you can catch us live every week on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. You can find us there and come and hang out with us and chat with us as we do this show live. Other than that, that's all I have for the middle of the show.
Yeah. So with that, let's get back into it.
All right.
The FIFA World Cup is here, and you can now feel the thrill of the pitch in FIFA World Cup Launch Edition on Netflix. A fast and fluid football game where your phone is the controller and the TV is the stadium. Play for your country in 16 different stadiums with up to 4 friends, all included in your membership. Scroll to the Games tab on your TV and play FIFA World Cup Launch Edition now, only on Netflix.
Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. Earn 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, apply to find out your welcome offer, which could be as high as 300,000 membership rewards points. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Welcome offers vary, and you may not be eligible for an offer. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
All right. Now that we're back, we are jumping after the events of KOTOR and getting into Bastila's quiet life, which is hard to believe that she gets a quiet life after the events of KOTOR, but it's well deserved. So, sometime after the war ended, Revan and Bastila married and settled on Coruscant. However, their relationship with the Jedi Council failed soon after this. The Council didn't agree with their marriage and came to see Revan as a heretic because of his views of love. Some refused to forgive him for his fall to the dark side, and others believed that he had led Bastila, whom they consider their finest student, away from the standard ways of the Jedi. Bastila sided with her husband in the debate with the council, and the 2 sides came to an arrangement. The council would not attempt to speak out against their marriage, and in return, Revan agreed not to attempt to spread his new philosophy to the rest of the other order. Bastila was at the first unwilling to accept the council's terms, but was convinced by Revan that the ideological war with the council served no purpose. I mean, at that point, yeah, it wouldn't. The council and the Jedi, the standard Jedi way was so concrete, and then having Revan come out of nowhere and have his own philosophy would really not have a great impact, and would just honestly be more convoluted than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 years after the Star Forge's destruction, Bastila's husband started to recall the existence of the true Sith Empire and his meeting with the Sith Emperor, he set out alone into the unknown regions, leaving his loved ones, including his wife Shan and his soon-to-be-born child, behind, knowing that he would take them into a place he would bring destruction to them all. And then before Revan and T3M4 left known space, Shan secretly programmed the droid to return to known space to find her should something happen to Revan. Should T3M4 have been unable to locate her, the droid was to find any Jedi who could help. At some point, this command became active, and T3M4 discovered the Jedi exile, Metra Surik. So this has happened in the last half of the Old Republic Revan novel is where this is happening. Can you hear my dog?
I can a little bit, but it's not too distracting.
Okay. She's going crazy. Shan remained behind with the rest of the Ebon Hawk's former crew, keeping the Republic safe as Revan had asked them to, and waiting for the day when he would return. In 3954 BBY, Bastila gave birth to Revan's son, Vanner Shan. In the aftermath of the war, as the Sith Trimavate and Goto. I hate that droid. I hate Goto. Among others.
Triumvirate.
Triumvirate. And Goto, among others, hunted the remaining Jedi Knights to near extinction, with the others, with one of the few escaped their notice, staying hidden so that she could protect Vannar. When Metra Surik and the new owner of the Ebon Hawk came to the Citadel Station after defeating Darth Nihilus, she spoke to Bastila and Revan's old friend, Karth Unsari? Is that how you say it? Onasi?
Mm-hmm.
After their conversation, Bastila approached Karth and asked if Metra knew anything about Revan. Karth told her that Metra knew nothing. Bastila lamented that she would never know why her husband left or what he was trying to protect from them. But Karth reminded her that Revan had asked them to stay behind. My dog is going nuts. I don't know why. Bastila would soon get their wish, because shortly after Metra's triumph over the Sith Triumvirate, and reunited the surviving Jedi, T3 took her to Bastila. The droid informed the two Jedi of what became of Revan, and that he had been captured by a duo of Truth Sith. When Matrix decided to leave known space to search for Revan, Shan agreed to trusted Metra with Revan's mask, the key to unlocking his last forgotten memories. And then, according to the Jedi historian Notes Doral, Bastila served as a Jedi Master at some point in the years that followed, although she took it upon herself to spend the rest of her life with her son, and the family grew. In the following years, Bastila never saw Revan again and missed her husband dearly, though Revan would secretly watch over her through the forest in her dreams and from the prison in the Maelstrom. However, she was convinced that whatever threat Revan went to fight, he put a stop to it because their family never had to deal with the war like they did. And the Maelstrom is a Sith-constructed prison that you actually board and rescue Revan out of in the Old Republic MMO.
Right, that makes sense.
And then now we have Bastila's legacy. So, Revan and Bastila's family line eventually led to Cecile Shan, the Grand Master of the Jedi Order during the Great Galactic War era, and Cecile's secret son, Shannon Thon, a Republic spy. A hollow statue of Bastila was erected in the Leisure Garden section of the actual park on the Coronet city of Corellia, along the status of Revan and his other companions in memory of their deeds. During Cetile's time, the KOTOR Jedi Master Nostral created a series of records to update the Jedi archives about the Sith Empire. In the hollow recording discussing the Jedi Civil War, Bastila was incorrectly referred to as a Jedi Master during the role of the capture of Revan. The hollow record also incorrectly depicted Bastila as Revan's side when the former Dark Lord confronted Malak aboard the Starforge. At some point,
interesting.
Right? I don't know how they get that mixed up. At some point late in her life, Bastila's appearance and thought patterns were recorded into the Netlekon of Secrets, as she was a Jedi Master who had experienced both the light and the dark side of the Force. This holocron recording would later aid the Bastila in saving the Jedi Master Yulon Par from the maddening dark side illness created by the Sith Lord Turok Morhag. With the assistance of the Netlekons, the Bastila learned a shielding technique that freed those infected by Turok McCall's maddening disease. Now, this is literally the storyline of the Jedi Counselor class of Star Wars, the Old Republic MMO.
Interesting.
And then, however, shortly after the consultation, the Netlekon of Secrets, the Netlekon of Science, and the Netlekon of Light were seamlessly destroyed by an unidentified Sith Lord within the Jedi Temple of Coruscant. Their charred remains were salvaged by the Jedi Order and returned to Tython, where the Jedi engineers attempted to repair them. Once repaired, the Netlekons further assisted in raising an army to combat the children of the Emperor. The replica of Bastila pointed the Bastila towards a hidden army of Eshkal imprisoned in stasis by the Rakata could be found on Belsabas.
Interesting.
Ugh. That is a storyline I have yet to complete. So I only knew like the first portion of it. So, now we have Bastila's powers and abilities. So, obviously, this includes her battle meditation. So, despite her use, Bastila Shan was exceptionally skilled in a rare power of battle meditation, and through the Force, she could affect the outcome of battle by thought alone. Through this power, one side was granted strength and a boost to their morale. In addition to that side would be granted perfect coordination and the ability to respond instantly and perfectly to the enemy's every change in formation and strategy. These effects cause significant damage to enemy morale and fighting effectiveness, thus causing two important shifts in the battle towards the user's favor. Shan had a very strong Force sense and could sense disturbances in the Force, such as Darth Malak's presence, although this might have been merely telepathy, or an extension of her Force bond with Revan. She could also use Force Stun, which was capable of using the Jedi mind tricks on Hutts, such as Mota. And then during the short time as a Sith apprentice, she was capable of using the Force powers such as Force Insanity, Force Choke, Force Wave, Force Lightning, Force Plague, Force Breach, and Drain Life, and Force Stasis Field. From her point of view, she was more powerful all but a few Jedi Masters, Malak, and of course Revan himself. And then additionally, Shan was a skilled lightsaber duelist. She wielded a double-bladed lightsaber in combat. She proved capable of dueling the redeemed Revan, Jolie Bendo, and Jahani atop of the Temple of the Ancients, and emerging relatively unscathed, a bit defeated. Shan also managed to hold her ground against Darth Malak long enough to Revan and Karth Usani to escape. It should be noted that Malak was considered to be one of the greatest swordsmen of his time.
It's impressive.
Oh yeah. I would say she's not on par with Revan, obviously, but she's close to his skill.
Okay, I want to bring up my point because I feel like people will come up to my point again and be like, oh, she doesn't have a Jedi Master because she's so skilled in combat and skilled in the Force. If Anakin, Youngling Slayer, I Hate Sand, Skywalker, Chosen One Skywalker, still needs a Jedi Master, so does Bastila Shan.
Yeah. I mean, granted, no one should be... Everyone should have a master in the Jedi Order, obviously besides the masters, but regardless, everyone should be assigned to someone just to be on the safe side of things.
I think because they wanted Bastila to be like this annoying mentor character, or start over like this mentor character for Revan, so her having a master and being a Padawan doesn't really make sense. But come on,
Right.
Come on. How did George Lucas okay this? Because he was still in charge when this was released.
He was totally in charge because this is developed in. I mean, it was developed by BioWare, but it was licensed out by Lucasfilm Arts. Or LucasArts.
Right. I think that at this point, I think as long as it was making money, he didn't care.
Oh, yeah. He didn't know. I mean, and there were so many different Star Wars projects in the works during this time that he couldn't be there for everything. He probably saw, like, he was probably given scripts and summaries of the stories, and as soon as he saw something that, like, was okay, he's like, all right, cool. Done. Put his stamp of approval on it, and it's like, all right, cool, do what you need to do. Not like now, where everything is specifically, like, looked into, like, heavily.
Right.
Back then, there was like just so many games coming out and so many novels and everything.
Right. I also think people were less concerned about canon.
Yeah.
In those days, whereas like now everyone's like, "Oh, well, what's the canon?"
Right.
Which is one of the reasons that we do this podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Back then, no one cared. We just, this is a Star Wars game. Awesome! I get to create my own character. Like that. That's the only thing
I'm a Jedi.
we cared about.
What? I'm the bad guy? No way.
Right, like that's all we cared for back in 2003. We didn't care about anything about storylines or anything.
I was 11. I was 11 when when KOTOR came out.
God, what was I? No, I was 11 as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, are you 31 now?
No, sorry, I was 9. I'm 29.
There you go. I was like, I know we're close, but I didn't think we were exactly the same age.
But no, not exactly.
Yeah.
But now we have behind the scenes. So Bastila Shan first appeared in the 2003 video game Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic, where she was voiced by Jennifer Hale. She was in part written by David Gator.
So fun.
He still does. David Gator still does stuff, doesn't he?
Yes. So for those. Here are your fun things because I host
he does
a BioWare podcast.
Dragon Age stuff.
Yes. So he has a couple Dragon Age books he has written. He used to be kind of one of the head storytellers for Dragon Age. He has a new game coming out called Stray Gods from a new developing server thing. And then Jennifer Hale, this is actually not her first appearance in Star Wars. She, maybe. I can't remember if Jedi Academy came out before this one, but she voices a female Jaden Korr in Jedi Academy. She obviously is most known for her work as Commander Shepard.
Yep. She's Commander Shepard and as the FemShep in Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
That is what she's well known for currently and forever. I would say Bastila was probably one of her first big roles.
Right, but even then, like, Bastila sounds so much different to me than Commander Shepard.
Oh, completely.
Well, because there's like the weird, like, British, like, fake British Star Wars accent.
Yeah. Yep. But
that even Carrie Fisher uses.
Yes. I did see that. And then if you do want to hear Jennifer Hale as Bastila currently in like the last couple years, she voices the teaser trailer for the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Mm-hmm. And she also voices Bastila Shan, Bastila's descendant.
Yes. So she's still in Star Wars. She'll never get away from Star Wars.
I mean, she is a very famous and prolific video game voice actor. So you have probably...
If you heard of Jennifer Hale or like Matt Mercer or any of like the Nathan Nolan North, like they're like the... She's up there in the ones where she's like had done 200
Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, all of these people,
Yep. And then the character that was to become Bastila Shan was originally going to be Vema Sunrider, connecting that Vema Dababa said that in Star Wars Dark Empire trilogy about her ancestor, Vema Sunrider's great skill in battle meditation, she was apparently changed due to trademark issues over the name Sunrider.
which is interesting kind of fact because there is a Jedi with the last name Sunrider. Either Naomi or Nomi Sunrider is a Jedi. You can get her robes. Well, you can get her robes if you use console commands to get to level 50 in KOTOR, or you can console command them in directly in KOTOR 2.
Right, yeah, and good luck trying to get to level 50, because it's not really possible.
You can cheat.
Well, yeah. That's basically it. The character was then renamed Sarath Dorn, and was finally Bastila Shan, the name originally given to the Cathar Jedi Jahani Shan, along with Zalbar, Karth Osani, Canderous Ordo, and Mission Vow, was inspired by James Olin's work on the replaying campaigns for West End Games. Which West End Games was the first developer that made the Star Wars role-playing game tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, during the conversation between the Jedi Exile and McCall, Shan's name is twice subtitled as Bastila, as a Bastilla. Also in the game, during an influence-based conversation between the Jedi Exile and HK-47, the droid mocks both Usani and Shan, and then further, if the player decides that Revan was a male and did not stray from the light side, which was the canonical ending of the original game, Shan appears on Citadel Station after the Exile speaks to Admiral Karth Usani. Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah. It happens. Have you not finished KOTOR?
No, I finished KOTOR 2, and I can't... It's been so long since I played KOTOR 2.
Right. So she appeared... So when Nihilus attacks Citadel Station, afterwards, Karth Onasi basically comes and tells you, like... Because the whole game, you're sitting there, like, where is Revan? Why do I have the Ebon Hawk? Like, what's going on? No one really knows what happens, and then Karth comes and kind of explains to you a little bit about, and that's how you know to go to Malachor, other than also with Kreia. And then if you had a male Revan who didn't fall to the dark side and you chose that option, after that, Bastila comes and has the conversation of, like, did he know anything? Or did the Exile know anything? And Karth's like, no. And they have a conversation.
Oh, I think I faintly remember that now. It's just been so long since I played. So, if the player defines Revan of having taken the dark path, Shan appears in the hologram of the Sith Empire Sith Academy on Korriban. Shan does not appear in the game at all in the case of the light side female Revan, besides portraying a non-speaking vision of herself during the test that the Exile faces while on Korriban. Bastila was nominated among 25 other Star Wars Expanded Universe characters as a figurine design in the Hasbro and Toy Fair 2006 Fan Choice Poll. In 2009 poll, Bastila Shan was selected as the Fan Choice winner. Bastila is seen wielding all three types of lightsaber available in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic official material. In-game, initially as her canon double-bladed lightsaber. In the in-game cutscenes detailing the capture of Darth Revan, she is seen wielding a yellow single-bladed lightsaber. She also does so early concept art. Finally, on the cover of Knights of the Old Republic, she wields a short-blade lightsaber. It should also be noted that she's seen with multiple lightsaber colors. Her initial weapon has a gold crystal. She switches this with a red crystal during her time with Malak's apprentice. Furthermore, she wields a blue-bladed lightsaber in concept art and is seen with a blue double-bladed and single-bladed lightsaber in the Prima Guide, and a green-bladed lightsaber on the cover of the Knights of the Republic and in concept art. Poor Prima. You'll be sadly missed. They don't exist anymore. Death of all video game guides. And then both Knights of the Old Republic games, all characters that wield a double-bladed lightsaber share the hilt of Bastila Shan's lightsaber. The Knights of the Old Republic 2 Prima Guide mentions the player being able to retrieve Bastila's lightsaber upon confronting and defeating Darth Revan's apparition in Ludo Crush's tomb on Korriban. And then, however, in the actual game, one receives a random lightsaber type with a random crystal similar to those occasions in the game. Instead, the term Bastila's lightsaber may have been used either due to author's mistake or referring to cut content. Which, KOTOR 2 had a lot of cut content, because the game was not even finished when it hit the shelves. So, and if fun fact here as well, you can now get, they did a new Black Series Bastila Shan figure, as well as Darth Malak. And they have a Darth Bane coming out, or not Darth Bane, Darth Malgus Black Series figure coming out later. And then normally that's where we like be done with the shows after behind the scenes stuff, but I'm going to go over the alternate ending stuff they had for Bastila.
Right.
So, if Revan is set as a female or did not play the romance as male, the player can still turn Shan back to the light side. However, this solution is harder than the romance option available for the male Revan, which makes sense. If the player is unable to convince Shan to stop fighting, either by failing at persuasion or not choosing certain dialogue options, then Shan attacks Revan and is killed. Alternately, she begs to be killed, believing herself beyond redemption, and Revan grants her wish. And then 2 endings were available in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic in which Shan would appear. The LucasArts established canon is the light side path outlined above, and the dark-sided ending is that follows. Revan gave in to the dark side. He and Shan killed, bullied Bendo and Jihadi. When in returning to the Ebon Hawk, Revan and Bastila offer the rest of the team the choice to join them. The droids HK-47 and C-3M4 were already programmed to do so, and Canderous Ordo pledged his loyalty to the man that believed would bring him battles in which he could find honor, as he had in the Mandalorian Wars. Cartho Sani refused and fled. Mission Vow refused to believe that Revan had returned to the dark side and did not run away. Zalbar initially agreed to join the dark side as he owed Revan a life debt, and even agreed via a mind trick from Revan to kill Mission to prove his loyalty. Note that the player could not fail to persuade Zalbar to attack Mission. In this case, the player must personally engage Mission and kill Zalbar as well. Ouch. And then before approaching the Starforge, Shan persuaded the Republic to attack the Sith fleet there as a measure to defeat the Republic. The Republic believed that she would use her battle meditation against the Sith, but she turned it against the Republic just before Revan faced Malak. And then Master Vandar Tok'rar realized that the truth after Shan applied her battle meditation against the Jedi, but could do nothing to stop her. After Revan defeated Malak, he reassumed the title of Dark Lord of the Sith and made Shan his apprentice and lover. Together they set out to conquer the galaxy. However, Revan soon left the known galaxy for the unknown regions, leaving the Sith and Shan behind on Korriban. Before his departure, Shan installed secret commands into T3M4. She knew that Revan would not take her into the unknown regions, feeling their bond would be a weakness. She also knew that Revan would take T3. She ordered the droid to return to known space should something happen to Revan. If T3 was unable to locate her, the droid would be find anyone, Sith or Jedi, could help. She ordered T3 to keep his last command a secret from Revan. Shan left behind, seeing disorder among the Sith, and seeing none left to the power to control the Starforge, devouring those too weak to harness the power, realized that Revan never intended to keep the Starforge operational. She recorded her concerns in a Sith holocron, placed in the Sith Academy on Korriban shortly before the Sith Empire, along with most of the Order completely collapsed. At the end of the holocron, Shan stated that she was leaving for the unknown regions to find and bring Revan back. It had not been yet proven if she left before Korriban fell into ruin or died there before leaving. Also, in the dark side ending, on the command deck, instead of facing Bastila, Revan faced Malik's 3 most powerful Dark Jedi, each with different robes. Malik promised that one of them delivered the killing blow to Revan would become his new apprentice. Revan and Bastila fought and killed all 3 of them. That was a lot. But that's the alternate ending if you stay on the dark side path and keep Bastila alive and not kill her.
Right. It's just interesting to me because like you can the light side ending is the canon, but so much of like what happens in Legends, especially with SWTOR, is dependent upon that light side ending. Like if you have a dark side ending, you have no Bastila Shan, you have no Grand Master of the Jedi Order, you have no Theron Shan, you have no there's no like the Emperor would attack as planned and it would be a terrible time.
Yep. I mean, granted, that's why I think after, the KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, KOTOR 1 came out 2003, KOTOR 2 was 2004. The Old Republic MMO didn't come out till 2011. So, like, in between that time, LucasArts and Lucasfilm actually created the expanded universe, like, timeline, like canonical timeline, to where it would make sense for KOTOR, or make sense for Star Wars Old Republic, because you have to have a canonical ending for those games to lead into the MMO, which is a sequel to said games.
Right. And I think this is a point of like the whole idea of video games where these RPGs where you can create your own world state and you have a world that reacts to the choices that you've made makes a looser canon. That wasn't really something they did in 2003.
No.
Like, I mean, all these early Star Wars games, like Jedi Academy, that gave you this choice, like the light side ending is canon. Force Awakens, Force Unleashed.
Light side is canon.
Light side is canon.
With both 1 and 2, light side is canon.
Right.
So,
and they didn't tell us a canon version. I don't even know if there is a canon version of KOTOR 2 because
there's not really an ending.
Yeah, you kind of just like no matter what you do, you end up in the same place, and the galaxy is in the same kind of state.
Yeah. So KOTOR 2, I mean, obviously, as we said, KOTOR 2 is an unfinished game completely, to where like the ending's not even there. And yeah, no matter what you do in the game, you still end up at the same place because they're like the choices you make in that game didn't have much of an impact on the galaxy as KOTOR 1.
It really just had an impact on you.
Yeah. Compare, then you get to, BioWare's later games, Dragon Age and Mass Effect, where they take what they wanted to do with those games and just, hey, we're just going to expand it and refine it and make it our philosophy of games going forward.
Yeah. It is good to note that like Mass Effect 1 is probably pretty close. I mean, it's a little different, but it's probably close to like KOTOR 3 would have looked very similar. Yeah. Or KOTOR 3, at least mechanically, probably would have looked and operated very similar to Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah. Because Mass Effect was 2007. And then the first Dragon Age was 2009.
Correct.
So, I mean, if KOTOR 3 actually happened, I would say it would be a lot closer to how KOTOR or how Dragon Age Origins played.
Right, because I believe
I wouldn't be surprised they used the engine they were going to use for that game for Origins.
They probably did. Which would be refreshing, like, if this KOTOR remake utilizes a Inquisition style engine and mechanic of like, that'd be cool to do with lightsabers and blasters and kind of decide with that class. Because I mean, it's still got that built 3 class systems. Mm-hmm. You just will it would be cool to have like the set abilities you have to choose with the ability wheels and the more reactive and live combat.
Yep. And then, little side note before we end the show, with the KOTOR remake, there is high speculation, since it is now a game going to be under the Disney umbrella. There's a lot of speculation that the KOTOR remake would be canonizing the KOTOR Old Republic timeline.
Yes.
So, are we going to... I don't know. I mean, gameplay mechanics will probably get the class-based system like we did in the originals. But story-wise, at least, hopefully, that will be like an actual canonized story again. Because they did say the story will be as close as... They're going to keep it as close to the original as they can, with them adding more to it to add more depth. And obviously, from what we can tell, a lot of the original voice actors are coming back.
Right. And like the things that we're going to see are going to be some things that certain branches of the fandom complain about. Like there's probably going to be a lot more diversity put into the game. There's probably going to be... they're probably going to fix, like, you probably will not be able to be as evil and stereotypically mean as you were in the original KOTOR game. Like,
they will essentially, they'll probably let you go into the, like, between light and dark like the originals, but there will be a specific canon story that will follow.
right. What I would really not like is if they make it kind of like the Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor games, and it's just a linear story. I want the RPG. I want the exploration. I want to be able to make my own character. I want to, like...
Yep. But we shall see. We don't know, because the only thing we have is a teaser from 2019.
Yep.
And that's all you have to go by.
Yep. Well, we'll find out. Well, you got anything else for us?
Nope. That is it for this episode.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to the Holocron History Podcast.
And may the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories and contact us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.
Ouch. This knee is killing me, but I can't stop training. The marathon is in 2 weeks.
Let's get on ZocDoc and find a doctor to take a look at that for you.
Okay.
Here's a review. Dr. Craddock really takes his time.
No, I don't have time.
What about Dr. Charles? His patients say he can help find a quick fix, and he's in network.
Great, now we're talking. Book it.
Booked. 1 mile down, 19 to go.
Bring it on.
You've got options. Download the ZocDoc app today.